begin our look at sports on the baseball hot stove, where the winter meetings wrapped in Las Vegas. Still no new home for stars Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. Those non-developments, especially on the Yankee front, gave us perhaps the quote of the winter meetings. And it came courtesy of Bronx Bomber general manager Brian Cashman. They are the evil empire. After all, Cash delivered one of the more memorable quips of this winter meetings late on Wednesday night at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, addressing the team's interest or lack thereof in free agent slugger Bryce Harper. If something doesn't make sense today, it doesn't mean it won't make sense tomorrow. Cashman says, all I can keep telling you is, you know where my current focuses are, but at the same time, we are a fully operational Death Star. As he pursues starting pitching, bullpen help, and middle infielders, Cashman said earlier this week that he was surprised by repeated inquiries concerning Harper, remarking that at no point this winter had he stated interest in acquiring another outfielder. Yanks are focused on pitching. Enter J. Happ. Happ agreed to a 2-year, $34 million contract with the Yanks with the option for a third year, a source familiar with the deal told Yahoo Sports. Providing left-handed rotation depth to a team starved for it and rewarding the late career renaissance of Happ, one of the game's most consistent starters. The 36-year-old Happ's odd career trajectory, he throws as hard now as he ever has, resulted in a career-high strikeout rate last season and was showcased during 11 dynamic starts with the Yankees after they acquired him from the Toronto Blue Jays in a trade deadline deal. The end-of-the-year run capped Happ's fourth consecutive season with a sub-4 ERA. Pinstripers are bringing back Happ. The Mets are bringing back Jeurys Familia. The revamped New York Mets bullpen is set to include a very familiar face. Familia reached an agreement for $30 million, a 3-year deal late Wednesday night with the team that traded him away last summer. The contract won't be complete until he passes a physical. The 29-year-old righty will join a Mets bullpen that recently added Major League saves leader Edwin Diaz in a trade with Seattle that also netted longtime All-Star second baseman Robinson Cano, a move made by new general manager Brodie Van Wagenen. Crazy that Joakim Noah has a job in the NBA, but future Hall of Famer Carmelo Anthony currently does not. Noah recently signed with Memphis following a disastrous tenure with the New York Knicks. Noah, a native New Yorker, has an idea why he didn't succeed in the Big Apple. No, it wasn't injuries, a drug suspension, or general ineffectiveness. It was because he was too lit for the city. The 33-year-old Noah, who signed a 4-year, $72 million deal with the Knicks in 2016, lasted 2 seasons in New York before the team cut him. He has since moved on to the Grizzlies and told the Chris Vernon Show his new landing spot is the ideal place for him to play. Rena, I'm too lit for BronxNet. Part of the reason why I love the association so much is the trash talking. All-time great Shaquille O'Neal thinks his 2000 LA Lakers could beat the current dynasty, the Golden State Warriors. Shaq has a lot of pride in the Laker teams from 2000 to 2002, and rightfully so. They are the only team since that time to win 3 straight NBA championships, and the 2001 Lakers were nearly perfect in the playoffs. So when USA Today called him and asked him if his Lakers were better than today's Warriors, Shaq spoke his truth. I think we'd easily win, O'Neal told USA Today Sports by phone when asked which team was better. Other people might feel different. They, the Warriors, might feel different. But we had one of the best teams of all time in 2001 when we went 15-1 in the playoffs. We would have gone 16-0, but AI, Hall of Famer Allen Iverson, went off on us and stepped over former Laker Ty Lue. Warriors star Steph Curry didn't agree with Shaq's assessment, of course, that the early 2000 Lakers could easily beat the Warriors of today. Here's what he told ESPN. Oh, he's dead wrong, Curry told ESPN with a confident smile prior to Wednesday night's game against the Toronto Raptors. Of course, we beat them. We can go back and forth all day. Curry was quick to defend the Warriors, but he also made it clear that there's no way to ever know for sure. He and Shaq could go round and round, but they never come to a definitive conclusion. In fact, Curry told ESPN that he doesn't like comparing teams from different eras. Stephen A. Smith quickly went 0 for 4 on ESPN's First Take, previewing Thursday night's game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. Smith gave his take to Max Kellerman and Teddy Bruschi on Thursday morning show, pointing out who he was looking forward to watching. He highlighted Chiefs running back Spencer Ware, Chargers tight end Hunter Henry, and Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson. If that didn't read right to you, it's because it definitely was not. and he had his TV mates serving as live fact checkers on the show. Yes, Stephen A. Smith, the Chargers aren't in San Diego anymore, and Spencer isn't playing. Ooh, rough, not his best moment on TV. By the way, the Chargers won the Thursday night matchup 29-28, 3 scores for Mike Williams. The 4-9 Jets will be at home Saturday to welcome the 9-4 Houston Texans. That's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. The Giants will share MetLife Stadium for the weekend, too. Jets go Saturday in the Meadowlands. The G-Men go Sunday. They host Tennessee for a 1 p.m. kickoff. Titans are 7-6. The Giants are 5-8 and still somehow alive in the wild card playoff picture. OBJ is still out with a bad quad. Not good news for them. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The NHL will have expansion. There will be a new team in Seattle. The latest expansion team reached the NHL Stanley Cup Final last year and is still playing well in year number 2. The Las Vegas Golden Knights are on the East Coast swing, and they topped the Islanders Wednesday. They'll play the New Jersey Devils tonight and the New York Rangers Sunday at Madison Square Garden. In the meantime, the Rangers welcome Phoenix tonight to MSG while the Isles host Detroit. Both games start at 7. Puck also drops in Newark at 7. The Rangers will be without Kevin Shattenkirk. He'll be out 2 to 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. On the NBA hardwood, the Knicks, now 8-21, will be in Charlotte to face Bronx native Kemba Walker and the Hornets tonight. The Nets are home for Washington. Both tip at 7. The Orange and Blue have signed guard Alonzo Trier to a guaranteed deal after the undrafted rookie's strong start to the season. Trier became the first two-way player to sign a guaranteed NBA contract within the first 2 months of the season. The team quickly acted to make sure Trier wouldn't have to spend time in the NBA G League after he was one of the top contributors to the club this season. Trier is averaging 11.3 points in 27 games and is shooting 39.1% from three-point range, which ranks 3rd among first-year players. He was signed to a two-way contract on July 3rd after the former Arizona guard wasn't taken in the draft despite averaging 18.1 points as a junior at Arizona. To make room on the roster for Trier's contract, the Knicks waived popular guard Ron Baker. And get this, the rookie will have a higher salary than 20 of the 30 first-rounders. That's called cashing in. In the Brooklyn, in the BK, Spencer Dinwiddie is cashing in too. The Dinwiddie $1.6 million free agent hold is now replaced by $10.6 million in salary for 2019-20. The Nets are still projected to have cap flexibility in July, but how much will be based on the future of restricted free agents D'Angelo Russell and Rondé Hollis Jefferson, including the combined $28.5 million cap holds for both players. Brooklyn projects to have $19 million in room. That includes 2 first-round picks. The maximum amount for the Nets could increase to $46 million if both players are not brought back. Spencer, a great guy and an up-and-coming player, too. He had 39 points in a win this week for the Nets. Kevin Durant knows a thing or two about rare body types and producing on the basketball court at a high level, so he's qualified to weigh in on the prospects of Duke star Zion Williamson. And it's safe to say Durant is impressed with what he has seen from the 6'8", 285-pound forward. In an interview on the Bill Simmons podcast this week, Durant, a 9-time All-Star and 2-time Finals MVP winner, says of Williamson that he believes he's a generational talent with athletic abilities and the way he attacks the game. He's a once-in-a-generation athlete. I've never seen somebody like that before, said Durant. Zion Williamson, I've never seen anybody that's lefty that can dunk with his right hand like that, cock the ball back so far and jump so high off 2 feet. I've seen people jump high, but not that way. You know what I'm saying. Much was made about Williamson's 285-pound frame and whether it would hinder his athletic prowess ahead of the season, but that question has been answered. Williamson has been awesome. On Saturday, for the first time in a decade, boxer Canelo Alvarez will fight outside Mexico or the United States Southwest. The last time he fought on the East Coast, it was 2008 in Miami. Canelo looked different. That was 3 weight divisions ago. 3 years into his career, the baby-faced 18-year-old Canelo had yet to even sign with Golden Boy Promotions. When that contract came about 2 years from that night in Miami, Oscar De La Hoya envisioned something great. This Saturday night, when Canelo fights Rocky Fielding at Madison Square Garden, he returns to the East Coast as boxing superstar, and for the first time in its long history, a Mexican fighter is one of boxing's most marketable. Add his record-breaking contract, and Canelo may well be the most powerful, too. Should be a great fight. In an interview for an Auto Week story detailing NASCAR teams and their plans for ownership succession, Rick Hendrick dropped news about who he sees as being the future leader of Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick, 69, says his former driver Jeff Gordon would someday take charge of the team he started in 1984. That's the way we're going. Whenever I finally step away, it will be Jeff Gordon in my place, Hendrick told Auto Week. Gordon, 47, is already a longtime minority owner of the team, a result of a contract that he signed in 1999. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for the best NBA comment of the week. I was going to go Noah here, but I decided to roll with Steph Curry and his comments about the moon. Curry came under fire after he said he did not believe the United States has ever been to the moon. We ever been to the moon? Curry asked on the Ringer's Winging It podcast. Multiple people responded by saying no. Curry appeared on the podcast with teammate Andre Iguodala, Hawks players Vince Carter and Kent Bazemore, and host Annie Feinberg. Following the responses, Curry said, "I don't think so either," regarding the validity of the landing. NASA has since offered to give Curry a tour of their facilities, including proof the moon landing is real. Curry said he was surprised by the blowback and attention his comments received. He later said he was just joking, 1,000%. But Curry may be onto something here, Rena. Yes, indeed. If you're famous, question everything, and maybe cool people will invite you to do fun things. Now he's going to NASA to check out their behind-the-scenes moon exhibit. Go figure. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.